So now that we know the basics of sketching, we can get into making actual 3D models. And so there's a couple of ways of extruding your parts in Onshape. And we're going to go over three in this video. The first one is just your typical extrusion, is Shift E, or you could come up to this up here on the top bar. And then there's some different options you've got here, but for most purposes, you're going to want to use solid. And then you're going to click onto whatever you want to extrude, and there's a couple of different options from there. You can change the depth of this, so if you want it to be 1.125, you can make it as thick or as thin as you need it to be. You can change the direction. You can also change the direction just by adding a negative sign. And then you can add a starting offset. So let's say you want it to be an inch away from where it originally was. Let me change this back. And so now there's an inch between here and here. And then you can add a second end position, which basically allows you to have you can have a start and a finish, and so it can extrude in both directions. And then up here, there's some more options that you will want up to next. So basically, like if you had another piece, you could have this extrude from the sketch to the other piece. And that's what these allow you to do. Through all will go through all. You'll have to select which ones you want it to go through. Similarly, if you want to add this to a different part, you'll have to specify what part you want to add it to. Right now there isn't another part, so it's going to give me an error and say there's nothing to add this to. What are you trying to do? And then after you make a new one, you can confirm with the green check mark at the top, and then you'll have this part at the bottom appear, and now you can use it for machining or whatever you need it to be used for. The next one we have is revolve, and revolve is pretty simple. It is Shift W, or you can come up here and click on it from here. The first thing you're going to have to click is the faces and sketches are going to use to revolve. And for this demonstration, we're just going to use this circle right here, and then you're going to come back up here and click on a revolve axis. And then for this, I made this line right here, and basically what this allows is, well, this makes a donut.